as we get ready for our main event of our first card. Once again, Miguel, we take a look at our tail of the tape. The reach advantage clearly in the favor of Charlo, along with the height.
And I think that's going to be the key. Can Derevyanchenko get inside on the defense of Charlo? Will Charlo be able to utilize his reach with his jab?
Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to the Mohegan Sun Arena here in Uncasville, Connecticut, as Premier Boxing Champions presents the first of our featured attractions of the evening, brought to you by Lions Only Promotions, TGB Promotions, and Showtime, sponsored by Proper Number 12 Irish Whiskey, the finest, the tastiest, the smoothest liquid gold in the world. This bout in the ring is sanctioned by the WBC. President Mauricio Sulaiman, Supervisor Michael George, along with the Mohegan Tribe Department of Athletic Regulations. The chairman of the tribe is James Gessner. Director tonight is Michael Mazzulli. And the president of Sports and Entertainment, Tom Cantone. Introducing our three judges, scoring from ringside. From Las Vegas, Nevada, Tim Cheatham. From Owasso, Oklahoma, David Sutherland. And from Rivervale, New Jersey, Steve Weisfeld. We introduce our referee in charge. He'll be giving instructions after the introductions, Harvey Dock. All right, fans, here we go with the first of our main events of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing scheduled for the WBC Middleweight Championship of the World. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, live from the Mohegan Sun Arena, it's showtime! Introducing to you first, the challenger on my left. He is fighting out of the red corner. Entering the ring wearing white trunks with black and gold trim. Fighting out of Brooklyn, New York by way of Nikolaev, Ukraine. He weighed in at 159 1/2 pounds. His record stands at 13 wins, 2 losses, 10 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the former Olympian, the two-time world title challenger, and the current WBC #1 ranked middleweight contender, introducing Sergey the Technician Derevyanchenko. And his opponent across the ring, the defending world champion, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black trunks with silver trim, one of the sensational world champion twins from Houston, Texas. He weighed in at 159 3/4 pounds. He is undefeated in his campaign in the ring with a record of 30 wins, no losses, 22 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight making the third defense of his current title, here is the two-division world champion and the current, undefeated, reigning and defending WBC middleweight champion of the world, introducing the hard-hitting Jamal Hitman Charlo. And a referee in charge now to give instructions. Once again, we have Harvey Dock.
Okay, boxers, you received your instructions earlier this evening. Again, obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves. Good luck.
It is the first of our two main events, Jamal Charlo and Sergey Derevyanchenko. Can Charlo remain undefeated, or will Derevyanchenko claim a world title in this, his third opportunity? Ray Flores, Miguel Flores, here at Mohegan Sun Resort and Casino. Miguel, I've been looking forward to this for quite some time.
Yeah, and some say that this fight should be the last fight of the night with how closely contested both these guys are.
Faster start, remember it's
so you look at Derevyanchenko, can he get on the inside of Jamal Charlo? This is a fighter that he really has never ever seen in his career. With the output that Derevyanchenko throws, it's going to be interesting to see how Charlo's going to be able to handle that and how much his jab will take in effect and really stave off Derevyanchenko.
You've heard about that, and a lot of other fighters have tasted. Of course, Erickson Lubin, who we saw.
Another thing that people were looking at, Ray, is Derevyanchenko had that brutal fight against Triple G, and some were surprised. We're saying, is he fully recovered from that fight? That's how brutal that fight was, and it's been almost a year since that fight.
Well, typically I would say, as the jab comes out by Jermall Charlo, typically I would say that a layoff of 11 months is a detriment to a fighter because of quote-unquote ring rust. For Derevyanchenko, though, I thought it was imperative, and it served him well because his body was able to recover. After being in war after war, your body needs time to properly heal itself. I think almost a year is enough time for that to happen.
Both guys extremely hesitant for good reason. Obviously, for Derevyanchenko, you want to avoid that right hand of Jermall Charlo.
Charlo with that double jab. Charlo has a very good jab, and you know he's got that right hand. He almost has it locked and loaded to try to land a good right hand, followed by a left hook by Derevyanchenko, showcasing his hand speed.
Derevyanchenko has faster hands than he gets credit for. He really is a guy that can 3-4 punch combinations extremely quick.
Overhand right by Derevyanchenko. He's deceptively quick is what he is, Miguel. You would think by the muscle and how big his shoulders, how broad his shoulders are, that it would take a longer time for him to connect upon the target, but that is the complete opposite for Derevyanchenko.
Right there, we saw that jab by Jermall Charlo. See, that is going to be huge throughout this entire fight, how much can Jermall utilize that jab. And if he keeps it going, throwing it 20 to 30 times every round, I mean, that will be a good setup because that will make it difficult for Derevyanchenko to get on the inside.
That's my serve.
Well, the height difference, Charlo is fighting tall. A nice left hook. It was partially blocked by Derevyanchenko. There's a right hand by Charlo. Final moments of the first. Double jab by the Houston native. Right hand is Derevyanchenko looking to cut off the ring, and that ends the first.
A little bit of a feeling out process from both guys, but as you saw towards the later half of that round, they both started to let their hands go just a little bit.
Try to throw the one, just a straight one to him. Give me a leg, when you're not punching, give me a leg head movement. Hands up, side to side head movement. When we were just talking about punch off of the head movement, but it's the left side or the right side. I don't care what side it is, it's the left or the right. But in the meantime, with a little bit of
on levia, so you could hit him with trava, you hear me? Jab hook, stay low, just like you do, stay low. Boxing good, okay? Stay with the jab, be smart. Technique on time, let's go.
second jab.
Out, come on, out.
Off the stool.
Miguel, what did you take away from the first round?
I mean, both guys are not really looking to make that mistake. I think it's a feeling out. I think these are two different guys that both these guys have never faced anyone like each other. You know, when you talk about Derevyanchenko, he's never seen a guy like Jermall Charlo, how powerful he is, the way he uses his jab, as well as he does, other than being and if you're Jermall Charlo, I mean, one thing, you got to deal with the speed. I don't think he realized how quick Derevyanchenko is, and I think he gets to see that once you fight against a guy like that. And then also seeing how he can get on the inside. And like I said, it's a feeling out process, and we're going to see the game plan first and get adjusted as this fight goes on.
We'll see if Jermall Charlo and Sergey Derevyanchenko, who can implement their game plan. A right hand as Derevyanchenko starting to come forward.
The second round, bouncing up and down his feet, really
You saw Charlo with Derevyanchenko out there, let him know,
And
you gotta stay low. That's one of the key things, and that's what a lot of fighters need to do with Jermall Charlo. As the fight goes on, he starts to not use your legs, he starts to stand up a little bit more, and that's where it opens up for that big shot, that big right hand for Jermall Charlo.
The reason why Rozier is telling Derevyanchenko to get low is because it makes it hard for Charlo to land upon Derevyanchenko, so he needs to be able to use his head movement to keep himself a hard target for Charlo to unload, because when Charlo hits you, that could be a concussive effect. There's a left hook by Charlo, but Derevyanchenko comes forward as we're just over the halfway point of the second.
And that could be maybe one of the weaknesses of Derevyanchenko's game is the fact that he does get hit a lot. I mean, when you look at both the Jacobs fight and the Triple G fight, both guys had no problem tagging Derevyanchenko as they put him down in their opening rounds.
Can Charlo do the same to Sergey Derevyanchenko? Charlo wants to make a statement to prove that ultimately he is the best middleweight in the world. Well, he gets that opportunity to showcase some of his brilliance if he's successful against Derevyanchenko. Derevyanchenko very calm and relaxed in the first couple rounds, but I would give the edge to Charlo based on his work rate and the fact that he's busier than Derevyanchenko.
He certainly is great. It's busier than what we typically used to see Jamal. Especially in the earlier rounds, he likes to really get in the groove. By the 5th or 6th round, that's when he starts to let his hands a little bit more. There you go. As you're seeing, it's already set the second round, and he's throwing a lot more than what he typically used to see.
Round 2. High level 2.
There's a left hook that missed by Derevyanchenko. Charlo, though, very relaxed in there. We're seeing quite a bit of poise from Charlo not to get overwhelmed and hold his ground against Sergey Derevyanchenko. And that ends the second. Let's take a look at the last 5 fights for Derevyanchenko. The loss at the hands of Gennady Golovkin, a victory over Jack Kolke. You were at that fight with Daniel Jacobs, split decision loss. Victory over Deshaun Johnson, and I was there when he defeated Toriano Johnson, finished him off in the 12th.
Yeah, exactly. I was at the Jacobs fight and the Kolke fight. Kolke, it's just clearly two guys in 2 different classes, and he really took care of business. Against Jacobs, I mean, I was there. I honestly felt like Derevyanchenko won that fight, and it came down, obviously, a split decision, and the difference was the fact that he got knocked down in that first round. And then when you look at Triple G, he lost a unanimous decision. A lot of people felt like he was robbed from that fight. Some in boxing say that they are just looking to make the Canelo Triple G fight. And Derevyanchenko made it difficult, but he gave the fight to Triple G. But many felt that Derevyanchenko won that fight.
Round number 3 now. This one is scheduled for 12. Between Jermall Charlo and Sergey Derevyanchenko. Through 2 rounds, though, I would give a slight edge to Jermall Charlo based on his work rate.
Exactly. It's been much better than what we typically used to see. Now, he's not really a high-volume puncher. He's one of the lower volume punchers in the middleweight division. Derevyanchenko on the higher end. But I think he realized coming into a fight against Derevyanchenko, he can't go with the typical game plan of just kind of sitting back, using the jab, and waiting for that big shot. He'll have to do a lot more against
Derevyanchenko with the right hand on the top of the head of Charlo, but Derevyanchenko's having some issues getting on the inside against Jermall Charlo because Charlo uses his height well, and also he's maintaining his distance during proper moments. He darts in when he needs to, and then it's just these subtle movements that Jermall Charlo is using that are playing a factor as he lands a right hand, followed by a left hook that missed by Charlo.
And I think another issue that Derevyanchenko's having with Charlo, Charlo's the bigger guy, the fact that every time Charlo throws, he's throwing with power behind it. He's not just, typically when a fighter fights, you'll see guys just kind of throw the jab out there, just the feeler, score some points. These are not like punches to score points. These are punches for knockouts.
Ran right by Derevyanchenko that landed. You mentioned that point. And Charlo back in 2017, or back in 2016, December of 2016, he actually rocked Julian Williams at 154 with the jab. There's a nice left hook by Charlo. And you're starting to see a little bit of a mouse underneath the left eye of Sergey Derevyanchenko.
And you can see just the power. I think Derevyanchenko is really feeling the power of Charlo right now. His face is starting to get a little bit red. Charlo's connecting on a couple of really clean shots, especially the left hooks are connecting.
Main event.
Derevyanchenko's really got to do a much better job in defending and not taking that many big shots, because that's eventually going to wear down.
Also, even the jabs are hard. I mean, just as Julian Williams, as we pointed out, those jabs are stiff. A jab followed by a left hook to the body from Charlo.
Really showcasing the difference.
One thing Derevyanchenko wants to really do this fight, he's got to find a way to get on the inside. He's got to get to the body. That was a key factor. That's a key factor of Derevyanchenko's game. The fact that he can dig into the body, use a lot of body shots. He's not doing any of that right now. I think that's what many of us expected coming into this fight, was how was Charlo going to deal with that?
Big right hand. He rocked Derevyanchenko. Derevyanchenko's hurt. A big right hand. Wobble Derevyanchenko to end the third. What a round. What a close to the round by Charlo.
You gotta let your hands fall now. You hear me? Don't stand in front of them. It's all a circle. Take a deep breath. Relax.
As I mentioned, swelling underneath that left eye of Sergey Derevyanchenko.
Let's get that angle stepping with the jab. Circle, body, and then up.
Take a look at. There's that right hand, boom, on the button.
Right, the hook shot on the side of the head again messes with the equilibrium. Charlo almost was able to finish it off with that left hook, just didn't have enough time to put Derevyanchenko on the mat. Props to Derevyanchenko for just keeping his balance and not having at least a glove touch the mat, because right there, regardless of whether he wasn't going to get finished, that's a point. That's a 10-8 round compared to a 10-9 round.
Well, it was the right hand on the side of the head that hurt him, that wobbled him. It was on the right side of the temple, and then Charlo landed a left hook. I'm surprised, and that just goes to show you the chin that Derevyanchenko has not to go down from either punch.
There we see, I think Derevyanchenko, like I was saying, he's feeling the power of Charlo. This is a different breed of power that Charlo has, and I think Derevyanchenko, you can see, it's hurting.
Charlo looks fantastic. We've seen him look really good before, but he's starting to look the best in his career.
Right there, left uppercut by Charlo, and he's really connected flush. These shots are getting cleaner and cleaner, and that's not good for Derevyanchenko. And as you heard his corner, Andre Rozier let him know.
Left hook that buckled Derevyanchenko.
We need higher output. There's no more feeling out process anymore. We got to go, because he's starting to see Charlo getting the better of Derevyanchenko.
And listen, the fact that Charlo, I have winning the first 3 rounds, Charlo continues to pile up these rounds and put them in the bank. And Derevyanchenko knows all too well what it's like to try to come from behind in a world title fight.
You're seeing now.
These are a lot of big shots that Derevyanchenko's taking. And I think Charlo spills blood in the water. He feels that he's only a couple more big shots away from putting Derevyanchenko.
When have you ever seen Derevyanchenko tie up in that regard and initiate it?
No, I mean, if you watch the Triple G fight, he was coming forward and walking through everything Triple G was throwing. And as we know, Triple G is one of the most powerful punchers in the middleweight division. And to walk through Triple G, the shots that he was walking through, I expected a little bit more resistance, but again, like I was saying, and I've been saying, Charlo's a different breed. His power, he's in his prime, he's ready, he's 30 years old, and he's looking to prove everyone wrong in this fight. And he's going to use Derevyanchenko as an example, and so far he's doing that.
And he has very good fundamentals under a minute to go in the 4th round. He has solid fundamentals. Everything with Jamal comes off the jab.
And he doesn't leave himself that much after he throws his punches. He's got surprisingly very good defense that I don't think's talked about enough, even though Derevyanchenko was able to get the overhand right.
Well, Charlo had his chin tested right now. A sharp right hand from Derevyanchenko, and then he spins around, tries to land an uppercut. Now, Charlo willing to go toe-to-toe for that brief moment.
You see again, after the action calms down from a little skirmish like that, then Derevyanchenko gets a stiff jab in his face. That is not pretty. It probably will knock you out.
Well, it's going to upset you, and it's going to, mess up your face to a degree. We are a third of the way through, and Derevyanchenko breathing heavy going to the corner as he is under the guidance of Andre Rozier.
Right
Take
here,
a look
left
at
uppercut. It was overhand right and then flush again on the chin. Like I was saying, Derevyanchenko can't take too many more of these clean shots from a guy like Charlo. And then, as we're seeing the uppercut by Charlo getting through the defense of Derevyanchenko, it is going to take its toll on him in the later rounds. And you're already starting to see, as you saw them break for the round, how that big gasp of air that Derevyanchenko had to take.
Let's take a look at the last 5 fights for Jermall Charlo. That was actually a victory. He's undefeated, so that's a victory over George Highland. A couple unanimous decision victories against Matt Korobov and Brandon Adams in his hometown of Houston, and then the 7th round TKO over Dennis Hogan.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, where a lot of the criticism comes against Charlo from the critics, besides the fact that he hasn't fought the guys, he's had less than inspiring efforts against guys like Brandon Adams and Korobov, who some even said that Korobov should have gotten a better shot in that fight. But again, Charlo, he's up for this big fight. Those guys, he still won those fights. Yes, he didn't knock them out like he typically does, but he's got the power, he's got the skill. He just hasn't been given the credit. Right now, he's proven everyone why he's the top guy in the middleweight division as the WBC World Champion.
Well, he's having no issues thus far, but again, we are just in the first third of the fight, so we can't count out Derevyanchenko, but Derevyanchenko looks a little bit...
He's got to adjust the game.
He does. He's got to be able to change, but Charlo, though, looks almost unflappable. And in the victory over Brandon Adams, in the victory over Matt Korobov, sometimes guys are just so durable that no matter what you hit them with, they're just going to keep coming forward, and that's what happened when he came to Korobov. And, some point at that fight and say, look, he fought a legitimate middleweight in that fight, and even though Charlo won, people were starting to kind of dismiss the brilliance and the middleweight qualities of Jermall Charlo. And tonight, he is proving those naysayers wrong thus far.
Yeah, how many guys have been against Derevyanchenko? You didn't see Jacobs do that, you didn't see Triple G do that. Just the fact of the shots they hit him with, really just dominated so far through the early portion of this fight. Now again, like you said, Derevyanchenko still has plenty of time to correct those mistakes, change up the game plan a little bit. He's got to throw more punches. That's what we were expecting. Higher output, as you see Derevyanchenko really start to move the fight up a little bit, keeping on that side.
Now Derevyanchenko left hook, followed by a right. Charlo fighting with his back off the ropes. Uses that jab. I believe now there's some swelling underneath that left eye of Sergey Derevyanchenko. Now a cut outside of the right eye of Derevyanchenko. So Charlo's starting to bust up the face of the Ukrainian Olympian and Sergey Derevyanchenko.
One thing we're seeing with Jermall is when Derevyanchenko gets on the inside, he's not really panicking. He's not looking to get away. He's almost inviting it. And he's fighting there right there with him toe-to-toe against Derevyanchenko.
As he's doing right now, Charlo with his back on the ropes uses a nice jab followed by an uppercut. Does Charlo a chopping right hand as Derevyanchenko advances forward. But Jermall Charlo looks fantastic here tonight. Derevyanchenko starting to come forward. A left hook to the body by Derevyanchenko.
Be effective in every way.
We're headed towards the 6th.
No problem. No bother. Nice and relax. Everybody relax. Okay, that's a better round. Technician. Don't shake your head. When you get inside, you have to punch through. Okay? Just lay on him and be rough. Don't be nice. And stop headhunting. You right there, go to the body. You can't miss the body shots when you do, okay? Take a deep breath, relax. Son, box, Sergey. Use muggy, man. Don't reach with the punches. You're reaching. Don't reach. You hear me? That's desperation move. Don't use muggy. In and out. Let's go. Don't reach for the shot.
Take a look at some of the action, Miguel, from the fifth.
Right there, left hook. I think that was the shot that might have opened up the cut over the right eye of Derevyanchenko. Well, it wasn't a big shot, but it grazed that eyebrow, and I think that may have been where the cut opened up. But Andre Rozier with great instructions to Derevyanchenko. You know, this was a fight that he thought he was going to go to the body, and that's where you heard Rozier. He said, go to the body. You can't miss the body. The body doesn't move. And as we're seeing, Derevyanchenko is surprisingly been headhunting as his corner was telling him. He said, a couple shots right there by Derevyanchenko. But when you go to the body, eventually the head opens up.
No question about it. We'll see if Derevyanchenko can try to get that going here. But right now, Jermall Charlo looks so well conditioned. Watching them train last week in Houston, he is in impeccable shape. He said, after this fight, I want more of the biggest names in boxing. Sergey Derevyanchenko knows he has his hands full. This is the third time he's challenging for a world title. There's an overhand right that connected by Derevyanchenko, followed by a left hook.
This is better for Derevyanchenko. He's starting to connect more. He set it up by going to the body first, which is what his trainer, Andre Rozier, was looking for. Go to the body, then everything opens up.
We're nearing 100 seconds to go here in this sixth round. They both tie up. Harvey Dock will separate the two. But again, going back to the jab is Jermall Charlo. When I asked Ronnie Shields last week about the fact that Ronnie has trained the likes of Pernell Whitaker, Evander Holyfield, I go, how does Jermall Charlo stand amongst those? He goes, Jermall Charlo works so hard, and sometimes I have to kick him out of his gym. I'll call him on the phone and say, what are you doing? And he said, oh, I'm out running. He goes, what are you doing running? I want you to rest. This guy is constantly working to try to get better.
And it's shown so far in this fight. This is the best I've ever seen Jermall Charlo. Derevyanchenko, as you see, he's starting to adjust a little bit better. But Charlo right there still has been unfazed. Really hasn't been hit that much.
I mean, I haven't shut up. Maybe you can give one round to Derevyanchenko, but so far it is Jermall Charlo using his jab. I like how he mixes in his uppercuts as well. And then obviously that right hand has been a weapon of choice for Jermall Charlo since the very beginning.
Where you see the most success when it comes to Derevyanchenko is he's digging into the body. Prevents Jermall from really exploding in his technical combinations because he's worried about the body. And then Derevyanchenko's able to come upstairs. It's been few apart between.
Nice right to the body. Charlo now investing into the body work. And now Derevyanchenko bleeding above his right eye, and that could be problematic for the Ukrainian. We're done with the first half of the fight. Some extracurriculars as the bell sounds.
I got you. Wait, guys. One. Not so hard. 3 deep one. 2. Good round, sir. Nice and relaxed. Reset.
Let's go, my dude.
In the middle of the ring, you keep using that jab, just go 1-2. A lot of 1-2s at him, okay? But look, but then start doubling the jab and moving the head. And keep walking around in the middle of the ring. Don't push back to the rope. Look, when he get close, start shooting body shot first and then go to the uppercut. Body uppercut on the same side.
Take a look at some of the action from the sixth again.
This was a better round from Derevyanchenko. He was really starting to put his will on Jermall Charlo a little bit more. Typically what we saw Jermall again with a big uppercut. Derevyanchenko, I don't know how many more big shots he's going to take. He still took a couple more in that round, but it was better for Derevyanchenko. It looked like Ronnie Shields was saying to Jermall. He didn't like the fact that Derevyanchenko was pushing him against the ropes and taking into that body, that loud upslap. He needs some more stuff. He wants Jermall to use the jab more, 1-2, and just keep it consistent. Once you feel the ropes, get off the ropes, because that's what Derevyanchenko wants.
We'll see if Charlo can continue to follow that game plan. He said the 1-2, meaning the jab followed by the right hand. Basic fundamentals is what Jermall Charlo has been able to do. He snuck in an overhand right, where Whereas if you're Derevyanchenko, he's got to be able to cut off the ring, get on the inside, and attack the body of Charlo. But as Derevyanchenko comes forward, and a little bit he was off balance, was Derevyanchenko. As Derevyanchenko comes forward, Charlo is able to use pinpoint accuracy to land upon Derevyanchenko. Derevyanchenko's face is getting busted up. His right eye, outside of his right eye, on the eyelid or on the eyebrow is bleeding, and I think that's starting to affect the vision of Derevyanchenko.
No man wants to see their own blood, and especially how much is coming out of Derevyanchenko's face. It does impair the vision. It makes it difficult during a round. And as you see that, Derevyanchenko is breathing hard, and Jamal, as a fighter, especially like Jamal, as you see Derevyanchenko is really starting to load. But Jamal, you see that on a fighter. You're looking for that finish.
There's a left hook on the inside. Derevyanchenko coming forward. His face is starting to, and he wipes off the blood outside of that right eye. You could tell it is affecting the Ukrainian Olympian and world title challenger as we approach a minute to go. Nice jab to the abdomen by Charlo. Charlo's showing a lot of different facets to his game. Pure boxing ability, the power, attacking the body, very solid defense against a power puncher in Derevyanchenko.
It just looks like Jamal breaking down Derevyanchenko. It looks almost as if every punch that Jamal throws, it takes a little bit out of Derevyanchenko.
Well, even going back to the fourth round, Derevyanchenko was breathing heavy, and that just continues because of how much energy he's expounding to try to gain some offense and generate offense. Charlo sticks that jab right in his face, and the face of Derevyanchenko is starting to swell considerably. Now blood from the left eye of Derevyanchenko.
He's creating artwork right now on Derevyanchenko's face.
And that ends the 7th. The Jamal Charlo show continues.
They're going to the blue corner here.
That's what I'm talking about, man. I need some more water, guys. Give me a deep breath, let him out slow. Yeah, we're not a water.
Box and get where you want to get
Don't
to.
fall into shots.
You hear me?
All right?
Don't
you
reach for him.
if he's in trouble, but you head hunting. Hard to the body when you get inside. Don't head hunting. Throw the uppercut in the middle of it. All right? When you get close, body uppercut, then hook.
So you use the legs.
Let's take a look at some of the action we get from the 7th.
Right here, Derevyanchenko is doing what he does best, getting on the inside, pushing up Jamal against the ropes. And right there, that was when Ronnie Shields lets Jamal know, when you feel you're on the ropes, that's where he wants you. Get off, roll out, and reset.
Jamal Charlo in total control as Derevyanchenko coming forward, but back comes Charlo with the jab. Everything with the Houston native starts with the jab, and then he places that right hand. He has good defense. Derevyanchenko came forward, Charlo covered up, and now threw again with that right cross.
Jamal, again, just continuing to set up the punches, really putting it on Derevyanchenko. I think Jamal wants the knockout. I don't think he'll be satisfied if this goes to decision.
To be honest with you, I think Jamal Charlo felt disrespected when it came to how close the odds were. He wasn't even a 2-to-1 favorite coming into this fight. He said, look, I'm undefeated. I've wanted to fight the best in the division. No one wants to fight me. I'm glad Derevyanchenko's willing to fight me, but I'm going to prove to everybody that I'm the best middleweight in the world. Nice right hand, a scorching shot.
Derevyanchenko, you got to give a lot of credit to Derevyanchenko. He's hit a lot of shots, but now he's starting to come forward more. And, that just goes to show the heart that he has. And really, he's putting it on Jamal. Here, this might be the best middleweight that we've seen from Derevyanchenko all fight.
Derevyanchenko trying to swing the momentum in his favor, at least get something going to grow his confidence, but he gets tagged with the right hand, followed by a right uppercut just over the halfway point of the 8th. But Derevyanchenko really coming forward, trying to throw caution to the wind, is the 34-year-old, but both eyes are swelling considerably from Sergey Derevyanchenko.
If you're Jamal, you have 70 rounds back. Just weather the storm, keep him at a distance, continue to use the jab.
But if you're Charlo, you can't get too careless and sit in the pocket too long against Derevyanchenko because he can make you pay. Both eyes swelling, both eyes cut for Derevyanchenko. And the swelling is going to impair the vision of Derevyanchenko as the fight progresses.
One of the things I've noticed so far in this fight too is it's so hard to move Jamal off his spot. It's so hard to get him to move and really dictate the pace of the fight, as you see Jamal really dictated the entire pace. Usually we're used to seeing Derevyanchenko kind of move guys and be able to dictate where the fight's going to go. He hasn't been able to do it.
Charlo holds his ground, as you pointed out so eloquently. He does not give up precious real estate in that ring. Final moments of the 8th. Big right hand that buckled Derevyanchenko. Derevyanchenko goes backwards. He was hurt. Now Charlo going on the attack as we near the end of the 8th. Oh my goodness, what a big shot from Jamal Charlo.
That's really unfortunate for Derevyanchenko because that was probably looking like his best round.
You're pulling up too high. Technician, you're pulling up too high, baby. You got to sit down. You're pulling up high, and that's when you get hit with those shots.
Right here, going through the body. Derevyanchenko doing a nice job again as pressuring Jamal, keeping him on the ropes, going into the body, making it a little dirty, not allowing Jamal to extend. Right here, I believe this is the right there, and that buckled Derevyanchenko right there as he continued to come forward. Right here's the shot. He set up with the jab, a simple 1-2, and then right over the top as Derevyanchenko was pretty much almost standing. As you heard his corner, Andre Rozier let him know, like, he cannot stand against this man.
No, I agree with you wholeheartedly, Miguel. And if you're Derevyanchenko's got to cut off the ring better. But you know what? Derevyanchenko's giving a wonderful account of himself.
Not many guys would keep standing after some of the shots that Charlo's hit him with. A lot of guys go down.
There's a stiff jab by Jamal Charlo.
Yeah, Charlo coming close to dropping Derevyanchenko for the 3rd time.
Derevyanchenko trying to get on the inside.
The opening minute of the 9th.
If you're Derevyanchenko right now, you're going to have to find a way to take some risks. You're going to leave yourself open, but you're coming to the point in the fight where you have to empty the bag. Everything that you trained for in order to be a world champion, you're going to have to finish Charlo.
Well, you know what? Derevyanchenko, there's a big right hand snapping back the head of Sergey Derevyanchenko.
Effective counter of the fight.
Derevyanchenko's eyes are swelling. He gets lit up with the right hand.
Charlo's starting to tighten.
Just over the halfway point of the 9th. What an excellent fight here. Stiff jab by Charlo. There's a nice right uppercut by Jamal Charlo.
Again, Derevyanchenko's too much. He's not throwing enough at this point in the fight.
Nice left hook by Derevyanchenko. As Derevyanchenko coming forward, he eats a couple of shots. Derevyanchenko is making this a close fight. We got to make no mistake about it. Charlo, I thought, was starting to gather himself and really was looking good. But man, oh man, is Derevyanchenko bringing a heck of a fight. And he gets eaten up with a big shot from Charlo.
He's got heart. And, I mean, if you didn't know that after watching some of his last couple of fights, you know, this guy is
big right hand by Charlo.
He is not easy to put away. But Jamal will take it.
Take a look at some of the action. There's that big uppercut.
Thank you, sir. And right there, just the flailing, that's what Derevyanchenko's corner was letting him know. Stop reaching, stop flailing, go to the body. Once you reach, you leave yourself open, and you can't do that against Jamal.
No, he can't get you. Stay brava. Let the 1-2s go, and then come under with the sneasel. You hear me?
All right? You got to get a little bit back on the side. When you get there, bang, 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 and step around him.
So remember the jab?
Let's go.
Derevyanchenko in a bit of a catch-22. He seems circled to his right because of the trouble with his left.
Time!
I'm being called.
The Charlo power alley. And let's see what the doctor says here.
Time in, box!
Round number 10. Scheduled for 12 for Jamal Charlo.
Round 10, this one's scheduled for 12 between Jamal Charlo and Sergey Derevyanchenko. Again, I think Derevyanchenko's starting to make this a closer fight. There's a left hook. Overhand right by Charlo, but back comes Derevyanchenko.
And that's one thing we in Derevyanchenko's fights is he is a slow starter. It's hard to be that way, and sometimes in championship bouts, he can't be a slow starter because, as we've seen in his last couple of fights with Triple G, Danny Jacobs, it comes down to 1 or 2 rounds, and that may be on the early portion of that fight. And so far, Jamal was able to rack up a couple of early rounds rather easily. It wasn't until a little over halfway of the fight that you're really starting to see Derevyanchenko get the better of Charlo, connect more, even though Charlo still has that power to still connect in flush on Derevyanchenko.
Derevyanchenko coming forward. Charlo is starting to give up some of that real estate, as you pointed out, Miguel. You mentioned that he held his ground, but now it is Derevyanchenko who's coming forward. And how this guy is able to dig down deep with both of his eyes almost swollen shut is unbeknownst to me. Halfway mark of the 10th round. I think this is a little bit closer than what we thought earlier in the fight.
Yeah, it was looking like it was going to be a total domination. And then Derevyanchenko, as what he always does, you know, that's why he's top 5 in the division. He doesn't get put away easily. He continues to come forward. Many of them were so surprised with how he fought Triple G walking through shots. And he's doing the same right now to Jamal Charlo. But again, Jamal just still remains unfazed, continuing to use that jab and continues to pepper Derevyanchenko and back him up. Those are 3 really nice jabs from Charlo.
And these are the types of fights to build the Charlo legacy and the Derevyanchenko.
Left hook by Derevyanchenko. I think Charlo might be he's starting to tire, and Derevyanchenko's getting stronger. Charlo shook his head off, but look at Derevyanchenko pick up the pace. This is what he's done in his previous 2 world title fights. As the fight moves on, he gets better, and doing it against Jamal Charlo, the middleweight champion of the world. We head towards the championship rounds. I think we are nearing some high drama here at Mohegan Sun.
Just an incredible exchange right there. And like you said, Derevyanchenko is really bringing it on towards the latter half of this fight.
That's the pressure you need to keep on him. Don't pull away from
he go in and out. Yeah. You go in and out, Sergey. He can't get you.
Relax.
You hear me?
Yeah. Rinse it. Give me the rinse. Give me the rinse.
Yeah. Sir, use your nogi, baby.
Don't shake his head.
Got it. Relax.
I am. Yeah.
So,
all right, technician, listen to me. Very important. When
Listen. You gotta be still. You gotta keep using that good jab. Okay? Keep doubling that jab, feinting, and walking out. Every time you come in, shoot the right hand. The right hand is the punch. You can't see it. Okay? You can't see the right hand. Keep feinting them, keep stepping them out. Come on. I got you. Time to go to work. Come on, take this. Gotcha. You can break, take a walk, Marv. Yeah. Stay out off the rope.
Derevyanchenko's face, he's just, I think one side is almost completely shut. I don't even know how he's seen, but
back comes Derevyanchenko. Yeah, the left eye. I mean, look, we are here at Mohegan Sun Resort Casino. Talk about swollen eyes. Mickey Ward and Arturo Gatti fought their first fight here in the first matchup of their trilogy. Gatti was known, the late great Arturo Gatti was known to have swollen eyes, but still find a way to pull out W's. Can Derevyanchenko sort of follow that blueprint and find a way to upset Jamal Charlo here tonight?
Charlo continuing to use that jab. If you're Derevyanchenko, you have to leave it off. You have to empty the clip in these final 2 rounds against Charlo. You're already starting to see Charlo slow down a bit. You're starting to see some of the body shots start to take a toll on him a bit. But it's still not good enough if you're Derevyanchenko. You got to continue to press on and keep it up.
I have Jamal Charlo ahead, but in those middle rounds, Derevyanchenko starting to come on and excel. The first third of the fight looked very good for Jamal Charlo. In the middle rounds, we started to see Derevyanchenko, and I think Charlo is trying to regain the momentum here, which I think he is doing here in the 11th. There's a left hook by Jamal Charlo, but back comes Derevyanchenko. What an excellent fight, Miguel. I mean, these two guys have been giving everything here tonight in our first main event.
You couldn't ask for more. As Derevyanchenko continues to press forward against Charlo.
Robbie Doc telling Derevyanchenko to keep his punches up. Under a minute to go here in the 11th. What we've seen for Charlo, can he deal with someone that pressures him? There's a big right hand spray in Derevyanchenko. Can he deal with someone that is aggressive, that comes forward, that tries to throw a lot of punches in bunches? He's been able to deal with it well, but still Derevyanchenko, I think, has made it a closer fight than what some believe. But Charlo, I still have him ahead. There's their right hand by Derevyanchenko.
Fantastic counter. And again, going to the body. That's what he's doing. Really seems to slow Charlo slow down a little bit on his punches.
To the 12th and final round we go.
All right, listen to me. That was a good round.
Good round.
Don't shake his head.
Please.
All right. That was the last.
Squeeze that.
That was the last one there. This is round 12. Stay close to him. Be smart. Walk to your right. And
Last round, guys. We're going to touch up.
Don't drop your hands aside and don't get hit with uppercuts.
So you got to win this round.
Last round, we're going to touch up.
So look, he ain't got more grit than you. You the younger man. You the better man. Okay, that's showing this round. Okay? I'm on using that jab, doubling that jab, and shoot the right hand. A lot of right hand to left hooks this time. A right hand and uppercut. So he's desperate. You know he's doing that. Let's go to the right. So let's go to work. Let's go. Yeah, walk here. Take this. Walk him to the right because they can't see it that eye. Keep shooting right hand. Double it up sometimes. Touch up. Good work.
Well, Ronnie Shields trying to motivate Jermall Charlo as we enter the 12th and final round.
You said it correctly. Just quality boxing.
This is very good stuff between these two. Between Jermall Charlo and Sergey Derevyanchenko.
You heard Ronnie Shields. He told Jermall, use that eye. The fact that he can't see, walk towards it, punch through it.
No knockdown.
If he can't see, he can't stop it, he can't defend it.
Derevyanchenko's right eyelid. 45 seconds left in round number 5.
There's a chopping right hand by Charlo.
Another stiff jab by Charlo. Right here. This is where Derevyanchenko lives, right on the ropes.
Right to the body by Charlo.
Jab dictate this last and final round. That's what Ronnie Shields told him to do. Keep it 1-2. Use the jab. Nice left hook by Charlo.
Doing his
Just over the halfway mark of the 12th. Jermall Charlo looking to retain his title, make it a third successful title defense. The left eye almost swollen shut by Derevyanchenko.
Derevyanchenko flipped Charlo with a couple of really nice shots. Stuck Charlo really definitely. Charlo took notice of
Charlo heard
Derevyanchenko coming forward, eye swollen shut, he's been busted up. But man, oh man, can he give a heck of a fight. What an effort. But Jermall Charlo, I believe, with what he was able to do, it could potentially be enough to get past Sergey Derevyanchenko. An overhand right by Charlo, but back comes Derevyanchenko. Look at them go toe-to-toe here in the 12th and final round as they are throwing caution to the wind.
And I think Charlo just stunned Derevyanchenko back to up with that jumping left hook or left uppercut. And there's Derevyanchenko. I think
Derevyanchenko's hurt.
Derevyanchenko's on skates right now.
going the distance in a hard
What a hard-fought fight. And Derevyanchenko answers back. That ends the fight. What a battle.
And still, baby.
Unbelievable effort.
after a fight like that.
That's two of the best in the middleweight division, and right now Jermall might have made a claim for the best.
That was an excellent fight. Great effort by Jermall and Sergey. You see Jermall Charlo absolutely delighted by what he saw. You know what, Miguel? I think he loves fights like this. I think he was like, yeah, I got tested and I enjoyed that.
We really haven't seen Jermall in a fight like this, where his big shots did not put away his opponent, and his opponent keeps coming forward, keeps walking through him, and starts to put it on him a little bit, and retaliates. And I think, like you said, Ray, he enjoyed that because as a championship fighter, to be the best, you need fights like that. You need fights where you're going to get hit, you're going to get a bit, it's not going to be easy. You're going to fight a guy like Derevyanchenko who's just almost impossible to put away.
And listen, the fact that Derevyanchenko was the first 4 rounds plus, maybe you could have given him a round or two, and then he transitioned he was able to adapt after having, look at his left eye is almost shut. His right eye, he's got some swelling under it. The fact that he was able to adjust and come back and swing some of the momentum in his favor. Taking a look at the numbers, total punch stat numbers, 219 of 627 for Charlo, 180 of 681 for Derevyanchenko. Derevyanchenko landed a career high on Charlo. Charlo has never taken those many punches ever in a fight, and Charlo showed that he has a solid chin as we take a look at some of the action from the 12th.
Look at that uppercut, oh my. How did that not put Derevyanchenko away? I think that was in the 12th round as you saw Derevyanchenko's legs start to wobble. And I think that's what Derevyanchenko was just reenacting Andre Rozier and letting him know, like, you know, where that shot came in. And I think Jimmy Lennon is almost ready. As you see Jamal happy, you can look.
You know, I think Charlo has this newfound respect for Derevyanchenko. He's kind of pointed at him as to be like, yeah, you know, this guy gave me a run for my money. I like this. The attitude I'm seeing by Charlo, and here's Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of action, we go to the scorecards. The judges are in agreement. We have a unanimous decision. Judge at ringside, Tim Cheatham scores the bout 116 to 112. Steve Weisfeld scores at 117 to 111. And David Sutherland sees the action at 118 to 110. All three in favor of the winner. And still, the WBC middleweight champion of the world, Jamal Hitman Charlo.
Jamal Charlo remains undefeated, 31-0 with 22 knockouts. He remains perfect in his professional career. I look forward to seeing what is next for Jamal Charlo. But